Yo, what's up? Tristen here. I'm a community engineer at Hasura, and today I want to teach you how to use the Hasura Discord support bot. This bot allows you to chat with Hasura's technical documentation, and it currently lives in our Discord server. The goal is to turn this bot into a librarian of sorts, capable of both assisting users, but also learning from them, so it can offer better assistance in the future. This bot will be most useful when asked questions that have solutions somewhere in our technical documentation. But over time, it will also learn from the conversations it has had. The conversations with this bot will also help our documentation team to more easily identify gaps in our docs. In theory, once everything about Hasura is fully 100% documented, this bot will be able to answer any question. Well, at least one can hope. So let's see how it works. I'll start by asking the bot a simple question about Hasura v3 and the Hasura Data Delivery Network. Why is Hasura building DDN? And let's just ask it why. It might take a minute for the bot to do its thing, and that's because we're powering it with GPT-4 from OpenAI. We opted for quality over speed because we want to provide the best support we can. We're also taking advantage of the 120,000 token context window and feeding up to 40,000 tokens of background documentation to the bot as input pulled directly from our technical docs. We're currently using OpenAI's latest text embedding 3 large model and storing the vectors and documentation in the Quadrant Vector database. If you want to peek under the hood of this bot, you should check out the blog post I wrote that talks about how I built the bot. And since all the code is open source, you can also run it yourself. There's 3 parts to this thread. The first message is the thread's controller message. The author can vote on the message to mark the thread as solved, or vote if the message misses the mark. If the author votes on the thread with the check mark, it'll mark the answer as solved. The second part of this thread is the generated answer. I won't read the entire answer aloud, but I will say at first glance it looks pretty spot on, which makes sense considering this question is directly addressed in our technical documentation. And I actually handpicked it for precisely that reason. When you think of this bot as a librarian or a tool that curates information and provides sources, it's really helpful. I haven't yet fine-tuned the bot, but once we start collecting some data and people start voting on threads, I'll revisit this. The last part of the bot's generated message is a link to the sources for the documentation that was provided to the bot that it used to generate its response. To generate another answer from this bot, or continue the conversation, simply ping the bot and continue conversing. Tell me more, let's say. Keep in mind, the goal of this bot isn't to replace assistance from a real person. It's to provide a first pass at a possible solution with links to the most relevant technical documentation available, which at the very least is likely to serve as a better jumping off point for the person asking the question, and in some ways function as a rubber duck. The hope is that if the bot goes down the wrong direction because the question was vague or poorly worded, it'll encourage the person asking the question to clarify what they meant, and in the long run, this will make it easier for a member of our community or staff to more quickly assist our users. While the support bot won't always be right, every question that it does provide an accurate answer for will free up more time for the support staff to solve the questions that the bot misses the mark on. You can check the status of a thread by using the /status command. Users with the bot's moderator role, which in this case means any user who's a member of Hasura's staff, have the ability to mark the threads as solved, close the threads, reopen closed threads, and mark threads that were solved as no longer being solved, in case a thread ever needs an updated answer. They would do that with solve, unsolve, close, or open. Another useful command is the search command. This is useful when you'd rather just get a link to the most relevant documentation about your query. You can see all of the collections available to search by using the /collections command. And this will give you a drop-down of the different collections that you can search the documentation for. From there, you can perform a search for the most relevant documentation using /search. And then you fill in your query. Tell me about the CLI. And you pick a collection, we'll say V3, and you get your links. If you ever forget the command you can use with the bot, you can use the /commands command to get a reminder. That wraps up an overview of the Hasura Discord support bot. I hope you find this bot useful and that it helps you get ship done.